I'm going.
Hey,
Yeah,
what
here we
is
go.
up, everybody? Hey, what is up, everybody? I am here to give. Well, we are here to give you a very special video. You can obviously tell by the title down below. And I am here with everybody. Just say your names.
My name is James, the He-Man Hebert, co-host of
Yeah.
Owen's thing usually.
Yeah, pretty much. Anybody else
And
want to introduce?
I'm Jemiah, the girl. So
Johnny, state your name too, because I don't think people got you.
I'm Johnny Starr. I work for you, James.
Hello. How you
Hi.
doing?
So, we are going to be talking about the whole Hulk Hogan controversy, with the whole N-word thing. And
Oh boy.
for the For those of you that don't know, Hulk Hogan was recently fired, not just fired, but erased from WWE history because of an N-word controversy. So who wants to start off with this?
Guess who's starting this off right the fuck now, motherfucker?
Alright,
Oh,
do
I got
this.
such a goddamn rant to get off my goddamn chest. Okay, so let me get this straight. So we're gonna start this off by saying, okay, we're gonna ban our biggest star that wrestling has ever seen to create the wrestling boom period for future wrestlers to go into your goddamn organization. We're gonna erase him or attempt to erase him from WWE history. But we're not going to do it with Vince McMahon, and he can flat out just say nigga on fucking live television on a Survivor Series pay-per-view in 2005.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's just do that. Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's totally fair. Totally understandable. I mean, he's the boss because Vince McMahon 316 says, and you should worship no other god but me. This is the same guy we're talking about who decided to completely trash God. For fuck's sake. And then you want to tell me that you're going to ban Hulk Hogan for using the N-word. Need I say it in a non-racial manner? Never said it in a racial manner. He never said the N-word in a racial manner. First off, the first time he said it was him quoting Booker T from 1997 with Booker T and Stevie Ray cutting a promo on the NWO. That was so goddamn long ago. Okay, and he was quoting that because that was what the interviewer implied in his question. So Hogan was answering the question like any normal freaking person would. It was a different way of doing it. So he just kind of said it bluntly, okay, yeah. But again, he was quoting history that happened. Okay, and then he's also quoting like the time where he was with Lil Wayne and like a bunch of other black guy rappers, and they kept calling him his nigga. Okay, how is that an issue? I really want to know how is that an issue when he's quoting people. He never said. Can I just say it? Like, did he ever say once in that interview, "You're a nigga. I don't like you"? Did he ever say that? No, he didn't. So shut the fuck up.
The only time he said it was when he was talking about that Booker T promo, but he wasn't even saying it in a racial way. That was the only time he said it.
He was quoting Booker T when Booker T said, "Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga," and fucking. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. We're gonna ban a guy for using the M-word, yet Vince can have numerous affairs with women on national TV. Vince can drug his wife on national TV. He can say the N-word in front of Booker T on live TV. He can basically do anything that he damn well pleases. He can make fun of religion and politics and not get punished for any of that.
Yeah.
He can have steroid trials and not have those be mentioned, but and he can talk about how it almost was the lowest point of his life, and he can talk about all that. But Hulk Hogan gets banned for saying the N-word on fucking an interview.
he
Because
said
apparently,
Vince said that and he said bullshit up. Vince said that it was okay for him to say the N-word because he was using it in.
then why the hell did this cause a huge issue? Why? Because I don't know. Let me think. Maybe Vince can have fucking douchebag yes men saying we're gonna charge you $50 million for having him say the N word in an interview.
Yep.
Yeah.
Charging
I mean,
him
like,
for, mind you, charging him on an independent contractor in Hulk Hogan. Independent contractor. He does not technically work for WWE. He is his own contractor. He is not a full representative of WWE. He is his own contractor in certain seasons of WWE. He is not a full employee. He's a part-time promoter.
he's signed to a legend. He was signed to a legend contract. That's it.
The fuck?
I mean, like, let's get Johnny's opinion on this.
Go ahead.
Let's let Johnny.
Johnny, it's your turn, dude. Go.
Okay, sorry, my hangout's kind of being a bitch. Just give me a minute, because I gotta put my
That's
phone
why
on a charger.
Yeah, that's why I
Alright.
said you should put it on a flat surface anyway.
Alright, so I'll talk then, I guess, until he
Yeah,
gets
go
his... So, like, WWE, it's bothering me too, because WWE, James, you and I literally talked about this last week, has a bad history of treating the black wrestlers anyways. So, and they're talking like they accept people for all ethnic groups.
Yeah,
But
give me
clearly
a
if you watch-
goddamn break. So it's okay. It's okay to make a completely stereotypical black faction in a goddamn New Day and make them all happy, smiley. But yet you got a guy who in ACH and Ring of Honor who busts his ass saying that I find this racist.
Yep. And also another thing is, I know this was back in the 80s, but still, they had Virgil literally be a slave to the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. That's another one right there. I mean, that's pretty stereotypical right there. I know.
And then after they had Virgil split from him, they didn't even give him a fucking chance to change his gimmick, change his name, or anything. They didn't even give him a goddamn push. They just kept him in the goddamn mid card, and below mid card for so many years after his feud with DiBiase.
I know. I watched this SummerSlam. He goes from SummerSlam 91 to beating DiBiase to losing in a squash match to someone who can't even wrestle Nails. Maybe that's just me, but Nails was crap.
I mean, it's funny to me that, and I know Eric Bischoff wasn't exactly all that in a bag of chips, but at least Eric Bischoff didn't do the half the shit Vince did, and he's not a hypocrite. He knows when he did stuff wrong. And the funny thing to me is, he promoted black wrestlers way more prominently in WCW than he ever did in WWE ever did. Why the hell do you think that Virgil went with the NWO and WCW?
Yeah.
I mean, really think about it.
Also, too, this is actually pretty racist, and I actually didn't say this in my SummerSlam review. Sapphire
Hold on a second, Johnny, whatever microphone you're using, stop breathing into it really heavy, dude.
I'm not breathing into it.
Somebody's bringing it into their microphone really heavy.
It's not me, because I'm not using a microphone, so... But anyhow, you had Sapphire go with Dusty Rhodes. And this is like, I think, the second SummerSlam. It was SummerSlam 1990. It was Dusty Rhodes versus Randy Savage. And you literally had Ted DiBiase buy Sapphire from Dusty Rhodes. Is it just me, or does that sound a little bit racist right there?
Yeah,
like, that's pretty stereotypical. I mean, the whole Sapphire thing's stereotypical anyways.
And then Vince doesn't want to do anything Vince doesn't want to admit that ever.
I mean, at least with TNA, they at least gave Lashley, a black wrestler, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. That wasn't stereotypical right there. I mean, James, are you good? James?
Yeah, I'm fine. Can you see me?
Okay, yeah, you like flows up. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard what you said. Yeah. Johnny, what's your opinion honestly with this? Because
my opinion honestly is that basically they're making Hulk Hogan the new Chris Benoit, and I really cannot stand that.
I can understand Chris Benoit to a point, but we're talking Hulk fucking Hogan.
A
They
guy
literally-
in their company.
Yeah, I know that, but the thing is, they're taking this guy and they're just treating him like Chris Benoit. That's what I'm basically saying. They're taking a guy who made your company billions of fucking dollars into what it is today, and don't say that it was pretty much like not accurate of what I'm saying, because everybody came to see Hulk Hogan. That's what brought people in for money until like the Stone Cold era and
He was the reason for the '80s wrestling boom. For fuck's
Yeah,
sake.
like-
So I guess pretty much what they're trying to tell us too is that the '80s and the '80s pretty much never happened, because that's what Hulk Hogan. The '80s never happened.
Like they're basically saying, hey, remember when Hulk Hogan slipped on a goddamn banana peel at WrestleMania 3? The banana peel fucking helped Andre the Giant lose, or Andre slipped on a goddamn banana peel and the banana peel won.
Who can forget the time when Vacant fought Bundy at WrestleMania 2?
Making fun of King Kong Bundy at WrestleMania 2, yeah, exactly. Who can ever forget who Mr. T teaming up with the banana peel to fight Roddy Piper and somebody else? I don't even remember the other guy.
I can't believe Actual Mania started the NWO.
Exactly.
Who could forget when the Rock beat some Invisible Man at WrestleMania 18?
Exactly. Who
Classic,
could
bro, classic.
Who could forget when Invisible brought back the NWO in 2002?
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Hold on.
Look at another when Vince McMahon died. Oh wait, that didn't happen yet.
Wait. I didn't really get to hear Jemiah. Jemiah, what's your whole opinion on this? I'm curious with your full thoughts on this.
When I first heard about it, I thought it was a joke. I was like, what's going on? I was completely lost. And then when I found out that it was like for real, I was like, well, I mean, what's the big deal? I mean, Vince said it. It was no big deal. Vince has all these racist gimmicks. What's the big deal? I mean,
Exactly.
they're just contradicting themselves, and it kind of pisses me off.
Cough, cough, Kung Fu Naki.
Exact. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Kung Fu fucking Naki. That was horrific. That was one of the worst gimmicks I think they ever put on him in his entire career.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god. No, yeah, that's a great example. I mean, and the fact that WWE, I mean, there's one, like, I'm afraid for guys like Hideo Itami and guys like Alexander, frickin' Cedric Alexander, who are going into NXT, because these guys are going to be treated horrendously over when they get to the main roster. That's why I don't want them to go up to the main roster. I'd rather them stay in NXT.
James, who can remember Jimmy Wang Yang?
Well, I mean, the funny thing is, yes, it was racist, but I mean, there were some gimmicks that worked, and then they even kept them down just because of racist politics. It made no sense to me, because Jimmy Wang Yang, despite the ridiculous gimmick, was over. And you would think you would make him at least one-time United States champion, one-time Intercontinental champion. Nope.
Well, at least the Cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, what did that mean at that time? I mean, yeah, he was an amazing cruiserweight, and he probably would have served amazing as an X Division type of guy, but they fucking... WWE dropped the ball with him, man. They dropped the ball with him bad.
Oh, speaking of Cruiserweight, why the hell did they make Hornswoggle the fucking last champion?
Huh? Oh yeah, that's another racist thing too.
Why did they make,
that's another racist thing too. I just remembered about the cruiserweight division. Their last champion was a goddamn leprechaun. Like that is a goddamn.
Why didn't they give it to a person who made it fucking popular, which was Rey Mysterio?
Exactly. I mean, I
would have loved to see another Rey Mysterio Chavo Guerrero.
Say again, Owen.
It feels like they wanted to kill. They feel like they wanted to kill the Cruiserweight division because that's what made WCW successful, so they wanted to kill it. Maybe that's just me thinking outside the box, but you know.
No, you're probably
no,
right.
Owen. Vince McMahon wanted to inject it with a lethal dose of poison.
With a lethal dose of poison.
You know what I really fear for though when it comes to this race issue? I fear for what's this? what's his
Goddamn
name?
Vince.
That new. What's that other new guy there? That new guy that's coming on in NXT. I don't want to. The new African American there. What's his name?
Wuhan
Cedric
Nation,
Al-
ain't
I
that his
think it's
name?
Cedric.
Isn't it Wuhan Nation?
Yeah, Wuhan
No,
Nation.
it's,
I think he was originally Cedric Alexander, I think, in the Indies. I
mean, I
could be
feel for-
wrong on that, but I remember they had the. I
I
remember
think
that.
that's a different person because I saw people like that watch the Indies calling him Wuhan Nation.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about.
But
Yuha.
Yuha Nation is amazing. I love Yuha Nation. Yuha Nation, but again, I'm afraid for Yuha Nation and Daily Tommy because as soon as they go up there, they're probably going to be fed a stereotypical Asian and/or black gimmick. Where they're probably going to Yuha Nation. They're going to have Yuha Nation lead the New Day and put fucking Big E out of power. Or some
Oh my gosh.
stupid thing.
I fear for Patrick from Tough Enough. If he wins that thing, and he gets brought up to the main roster, he's gonna be used like a joke.
Oh, can I just please rant on that for a little bit, just really quick? That
Oh
when I
yeah.
found out, go.
Who before you do, Jemiah, you probably know this better than I do. Who's the black guy that got
Patrick, you
eliminated from
dumb
Tough
fuck.
Enough? That was Patrick. Okay,
Yes.
so yeah, then he turned down a contract offer, right? And WWE was offering him a contract for NXT, right? Do I
I'm
have
not
that
sure.
right?
I'm not up to date on Tough Enough, so I can't really tell you. Speaking of which, he does talk about his indie career. Do you know anything about Patrick and his indie league at all?
Yes, I do. Patrick.
What is he about?
Patrick was amazing wrestler in Ring of Honor. He was a part of the New England circuit for years before he got to Ring of Honor in like NECW. That's where he made his debut. Then he went on to I think Top Rope Promotions. Then Top Rope contacted Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor picked up him, and then all of a sudden he got onto Tough Enough. I think this year, and then ever since he got eliminated from Tough Enough. And then WWE tried to offer him a contract. He turned it down, and I'm pretty sure it was over racial profiling.
Well, I think I know.
As far as I'm concerned, I mean, Jemiah, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that why Patrick left was because of racial profiling? He turned down a contract for NXT because of it. Jemiah, can you hear me? Hello? Jemiah? Hello?
So, how about John Cena's gonna win Tough Enough because he wins everything?
Shut up.
Cena. Okay. Anyhow.
John Cena competes for the Divas Championship.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's John Cena.
But yeah, Tough Enough. I'm sorry.
John Cena's the leader of Vices.
Dude, I actually could see them doing that. Why would they eliminate Patrick off Tough Enough anyways? I get like the fans. They say the fans that decide the vote, but I don't think that's the case. So why would they eliminate Patrick off Tough Enough? I don't get it.
Apparently people are saying Hulk Hogan did it because he's racist, but like, no, like all these articles I've been seeing, I saw Hulk Hogan, someone posted on I don't know if you, Owen, if you are subscribed to No DQ, but some dude posted a picture, and it showed like a Facebook article saying that basically, that they're saying Hulk Hogan is part of the KKK, a secret member.
Oh my gosh.
This is getting ridiculous, like, I'm really about to rage.
Dude, I wanna know how the hell they're gonna plan on firing Hogan. Like, could they have at least suspended him after the Tough Enough season? Like, that's another thing. He's a huge part of Tough Enough right now. How does that make any sense? Like, is he already did they already tape all the episodes or what?
It's live. They're live. Like when the judges come up, like
This episode is brought to you by CM Punk Juice.
No, but Jemiah, sorry about that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is the reason why what's his name? Patrick turned down his NXT contract offer was because of racial profiling with like guys like the New Day and primetime players, right?
I didn't even know he got offered a contract.
He did get offered a
hear
contract. Yeah, so what ended up happening was he ended up getting offered a contract. I'm not sure about the whole details with that, but I think it was honestly because he was mainly because of racial profiling. Because WWE has had some really racial gimmicks. I wouldn't put it
Yeah.
past him if that was one of his reasons why turning it down, because he really was offered a lucrative contract to because he was going to be like the tag team partner of Yuha Nation. He was going to learn
That
under
would
the
have been.
tutelage of Yuha.
I have a question. Was Patrick good? Like, is Patrick like a good wrestler in the ring? Is he a good
Oh,
worker?
from what I heard, Patrick was one of the fan favorites on Tough Enough.
Yeah, he was. I'm surprised they took him off. Actually, because he's the only. Paige asked this question on Tough Enough. He was the only one that woke up at 5 in the morning out of the whole cast to watch that Beast from the East show. He's the only one that woke up and watched it. Everybody else didn't watch it.
I'm sorry, but like I honestly don't. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead, Johnny.
I'm sorry, and this is a very unpopular opinion, but I literally just don't give a shit about Tough Enough. I literally just think it's a joke, because remember the last season of Tough Enough? Where's that dude now?
The dude didn't even get a contract or whatever the hell happened.
He did,
He got
but
he got a stunner and then he left.
No, wait, Johnny, what? What's your fire?
He got a stunner and then he basically got fired because Vince didn't program him to be into the roster.
Jemai, do you have a more in depth of that, or about the last Tough Enough season winner or whatever from 2010 or 2011 rather?
Well, he did get a contract, and he had like 2 matches in FCW, and then he got released because I think of steroids or something.
Steroids, really?
Yeah, he was on drugs. Something like that.
Yeah, but
I'll look that up. I'll
it's
confirm
okay
it.
for Vince to have an alternative supplement of steroids, which is basically whatever he has now is like a legal version of steroids.
It's just insane. Like, this.
Vince is like, dude, he's like Charlie Sheen looking face, and like every man is sexapade to ever grace God's green earth. Like the guy has huge regrets, and yet he's gonna fucking go and fire Hogan for saying one word. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to
Not
me.
just
And then on
fire
top
him,
of that,
he also took away Hulk Hogan's acceptance into the Hall of Fame. We didn't even talk about that.
what? They what?
Yeah, if you go on the Hall of Fame page and you go underneath the H's, Hulk Hogan isn't there now.
If it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, then Vince McMahon wouldn't be anything.
Are you?
And also
shitting
too, if you try to search up Hulk Hogan's name in the search bar, nothing. They just have matches that have nothing to do with Hulk Hogan. I'm surprised you didn't know about this, James. They took away his Hulk. He's not. They took away his Hulk.
Vince.
He's not really in the Hall of Fame.
Vince, this is for you. I hate you for this is a in a nice version of saying this instead of saying it out loud. This is a way of saying I hate your fucking guts for doing that. You're taking away somebody's legacy, practically. Done.
Yeah.
Done. Just done.
But
You know what? I'm making a protest right now.
no, James.
I'm gonna say it on Monster. I'm gonna say it on every page that I'm ever subscribed to on Owen. I think that Owen added me on. I want to start some sort of revolution to not watch Raw, just for that one reason. Because that to me is bullshit. I am not watching Raw tonight. I'm serious. I'm not watching that after I heard that. You're kidding me, right? You're gonna erase somebody's legacy from the history books.
Pretty much.
Revolutionize this industry. You're gonna erase him completely, and you're gonna take away his Hall of Fame ring.
James. Andy Levine didn't take steroids. It turns out there was the runner-up of season 5. It turns out they released the fucker.
So
I don't think Jay
what about fucking Andy?
Andy Levine. He
Yeah.
was Yes, they released him.
Oh, stupid. I'm done. Again,
I didn't even like him at all. I thought Luke should have won.
I thought the other guy. I think both of them should have been signed to contracts. To be honest,
Yeah.
that's just me.
They signed Cameron to a contract.
Yeah, that don't even get me started on that.
Mm.
But yeah,
I'm
Jay,
tired of. Wait, isn't he Ty Dillinger now?
Isn't who Ty Dillon?
I thought Tyler from Tough Enough is now Ty Dillinger or something.
Who's Tyler? Tyler who?
Tyler, the second runner-up in the last season's Tough Enough or whatever. Isn't he Ty Dillinger now?
The runner-up was.
I mean that's what I thought because you said somebody about Tyler and I thought Tyler that was Ty
no,
Dillinger's
he said somebody else.
I don't fucking know. This is how much I don't give a crap about Tough Enough anymore. Like I don't even watch it. I don't even know.
You want to know what's gonna happen this season on Tough Enough? Where Patrick was the only one that should have won, but they're gonna win. ZZ is gonna win. We're gonna be winning, and then when he gets a contract.
Hey, let's have a great idea to legitimize Tough Enough. Let's bring in past members from past seasons and make them bigger than the first ever season winner, and make the first season winner of Tough Enough a jobber.
Yeah.
Good job. Great
James.
job. Great.
Am I the only one that thinks still that, like, Jay just... No. But you brought up NXT earlier, and you know what I just remembered? I didn't start getting into NXT until 2000... Like, a little bit early this year. I know it's kind of stupid of me. But the only reason was because I
understand, because first off...
No, I'm not going to that, James. You're going to find out the real reason. Because you know what? The reason is, when I first heard about NXT, I thought it was that stupid program when they had that stupid competition where they all had that fucking version of Tough Enough, and they had the original fucking programming where they had the trainers and shit all compete for an NXT contract, cough cough Nexus. But that was the reason why I thought that show was still going on.
Nexus, there's another one that they dropped the ball with. Oh my god.
I mean, and the NXT show, like, there was a point where NXT was so bad that I didn't watch anymore. Like, I didn't really start watching until, like, last year when it was actually became...
I stopped watching NXT after its third season on Sci-Fi switched over to the frickin' WWE.com.
Yeah.
WWE.
Before they had the goddamn network. That's when I stopped watching because they had that female competition. The female competition was, like, the worst season ever. To the point where it got canceled on Sci-Fi.
Oh, you wanna know what I was looking up that fucking quit wrestling?
What?
Ted DiBiase Jr.
There's another one they dropped the ball with, too. So many...
Cough, cough, World Heavyweight Championship material there, but...
He should have been WWE Champion. I honestly and still believe this to this day that Ted DiBiase, the way they were building him up, if they never dropped the ball with him, was going to be the next John Cena.
Yeah, I agree.
That is my true belief. I will stand by that belief to the day I die. And I mean, they want to talk about.
I hate to say this.
Hulk Hogan is killing. They want to treat like Hulk Hogan almost killed the wrestling business by saying the M-word when in reality it's their selfish dick aerosol feeding into the ear of Vince McMahon ways that it's really killing the company. It has been for like several years now.
They're treating this situation with Hulk Hogan too like it's murder. Like Chris Benoit actually like murdered his family. He has a reason to be erased. So Hulk Hogan's pretty much being erased for no reason really. For no reason.
He shouldn't be erased. He made a mistake outside of WWE, which they were giving him steroids, and this is why I today think wrestling. And I hate to say it for the wrestlers, but this is why I prefer wrestling when it was on steroids, because at least people got entertained by it. Like, I'm not trying to be that douchebag that says you should take steroids, but Jesus Christ, like, so much has changed because of that one incident.
And the fact that I mean, I don't want them to take steroids, because steroids was the worst thing that you can inject into your body, but I mean, the fact that they got rid of like a bunch of other shit, like, doesn't make any sense to me. And
Wait,
quite frankly, I'm tired of watching. Like, I have not watched Raw in weeks because they made stupid boneheaded decisions, and I'm probably not going to again this week. Because I don't enjoy what's going on behind the scenes. What happened with
no, if I find out they're doing John Cena versus Seth Rollins, I'm gonna fucking just quit WWE Network. I'm sorry, James. I'm going to fucking unsubscribe, make the biggest video, just gonna fucking rage the fuck on it.
Listen, there's only one reason why you should keep Network, honestly, Johnny, and it's because it's the best alternative to watch is NXT. That's the only thing you should keep the Network for. I wouldn't get rid of it because NXT is worth $9.99 a month. If nothing else, NXT is worth keeping.
True.
That's why I'm saying don't get rid of it. But no, Vince, that we're not supporting the Network because of you. We're not supporting the Network because of your boneheaded decisions over the years. We're keeping it because of Triple H. We're keeping it because of NXT and how he's running a company better than you, and the company that he's running is the developmental brand of your organization, and he's made that a global brand than Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown.
James.
Thursday Night SmackDown.
Oh, SmackDown. What's that? Is that like some?
Excuse me. SmackDown
James, what's
is fucking ruined.
Wait, James, what's a SmackDown?
What's a SmackDown? I don't know. It used to be popular. It used to be the A show. And it turned into the C show.
That's so retro, dude.
I know, right?
No, like in all seriousness,
Paul Heyman said he liked fighting SmackDown.
But Paul Heyman said you want it, I'll watch again. You put Paul Heyman in that chair and SmackDown again, I'll be watching every fucking Thursday.
I'd rather NXT like take the spot of SmackDown at this point because SmackDown has been ruined, sadly.
What do you think ruined SmackDown?
It's the harsh truth. I mean, I don't know if anybody else agrees with me on that, but
yeah, I can agree. I mean, it's still somewhat enjoyable to like check out. Like this week's episode was a nice episode, but like sometimes it just doesn't feel like the A show.
But again, I rather keep in touch with. The only thing I'll give them is a YouTube view. Like, I literally go on there, I keep up to date with YouTube videos. I don't even watch the regular shows as they're on schedule-wise on TV anymore. I don't even give them the time of day to give them a rating. I mean,
I can understand that.
Like,
what's a Hulk Hogan?
That's what WWE always asks now at this point. I don't
Hulk
know,
Smash.
What's your opinion? How are you gonna take this, knowing that they've pretty much done this to the biggest star in the company, or in wrestling history, period?
Well, I already know I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that I'm gonna stop watching because I know that I'm gonna watch in 45 minutes. But all I know is that it is complete crap and it's stupid. If it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, this company would not even be here today.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And
I mean, and this is what I'm gonna ask Jemiah, and I'm gonna tell you, you're not gonna experience it now, and I understand because I was like you back then too. You're eventually gonna lose your interest to watch WWE programming mainstream in general, because what ends up happening as you get older is
I'm the same way too, by the way.
You start looking at how the politics world has completely infested the WWE world. Because what it has basically done is, because Dick Ebersol and Vince McMahon have been in such ties and a relationship, NBC, who, by the way, in the political world has been under major controversy, has now been screwing over WWE and costing them numerous dollars, first with the TV network stuff, now with this Hulk Hogan stuff, and it's caused them to feed into the ear of Vince to get rid of guys like Hogan, to get rid of guys like, just in general, that they don't see fit on the TV program. which or because that's what I honestly think it is. When you realize that Donald Trump, the billionaire who helped WrestleMania and also helped NBC, decided to say screw it to NBC in his presidential role, then why the hell isn't Vince McMahon doing the same with his $1 million company?
Yeah, I agree.
That
I'm the same way, but maybe
he
I'm the
doesn't.
same
He
way
does
as
not
Jemiah.
need.
She had
He
to.
does not need NBC. The Vince does not need NBC to be successful. He does not need it. He can go on to Spike again any time of the goddamn week, and they will accept him to go be on Spike. Anytime. He can sign a contract with them right now, and they will gladly take him back on Raw. I guarantee it. And if what they're doing right now is what I'm assuming is true, is that they're going to have both SmackDown and Raw on USA at some point, then why don't they just say fuck it to USA and then have both shows on Spike?
Yeah, I can agree
They
with
don't
that.
need NBC. I mean, yes, what Spike did to TNA was ridiculous, but they also dug their own grave with Vince Russo. WWE can at least get out of the bullshittery of the ear-feeding bullshit in one ear so they can keep it in their head. They can at least get out of that freaking crap and actually build a wrestling company and build sports entertainment, as they so like to call it, Vince likes to call it, to be more wrestling based, because their middle freaking name on their logo says wrestling. So it should still be about the athleticism of wrestling. That is what sports entertainment, pro wrestling, whatever the hell you want to call it, has always thrived on. The wrestling, okay? And the fact that Dick Ebersol and all these other idiots have basically infected WWE and said, no, that's not what fans want to see. That's not what casual fans want. It's complete ludicrous. The reason why casual fans are subscribed, the reason why fans who stopped watching WWE like 10, 15 years ago are subscribed to the network for a nowadays program is because of NXT. So if NXT is thriving on a network with 3 million subscribers and about 2.9 million of them watch, imagine what they could do on a goddamn network stream. That's how WWE should be run, and I honestly don't think it's going to happen until they get off NBC. That's what I think it is. That's what I will always think it is. NBC has corrupted WWE completely. What? They are... Stop. It doesn't make sense.
You mean USA?
Before you say anything, Johnny, does anybody agree with me on that?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, if Donald Trump left, why can't Vince do the same?
I know.
I'll tell you why. Probably because Vince is complete friends with Dick. He's complete friends with him. Because the fact is, Dick Ebersol is a politician, and Vince McMahon being the politician nut. Okay, I want to make this crystal clear. He can be an American patriot all he wants, and I commend him for that. I mean, the 9/11 tribute show, I don't think will ever leave anybody's minds, whoever saw it. But the fact that he's saying, okay, you love America, I'm going to call it terrorism and jabroni, all of that, yet he does a complete 180 with the wrestling business, is exactly what a politician would do with the United States of America. It's exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. Pro wrestling to us is like a country. And Vince, it's basically what has happened. He's turned pro wrestling, aka or quote-unquote sports entertainment, into a political viewpoint, which it should not be. It was not like that before. Why is that like that now?
I agree with you, James. Like, I'm not really a fan of politics anyways. But I just don't think politics and wrestling belong together. It's just a weird relationship. I don't think that should ever be together.
I mean, I'm going to send a video to everybody here. I'm going to send everybody a video made by WhatCulture.com. And it is called 11 Mentalities That Are Killing WWE. All of them are 110% accurate with what is killing that company. Every single one of them. I will show it to you. And
James, send me the link because I'm just gonna take a nap, dude. Like, I'm literally like a fucking rage and I need to like sleep or something.
I don't blame you, man. At least you were there for most of it. But do you want to say anything before you go? Before you decide to take a nap? I say rant. I say rant if you
No.
want to.
He's gone now, so.
All right. So yeah,
So it's just
Jemiah,
us now.
well, we got one person to rage, I guess. Apparently, I'm my truth. I'm very truthful with what I say. What do you think, Jemiah? What do you think about my point?
Well, I can't rage right now because I'm in the living room. So,
Well,
but
I know what you're saying, but like, what do you think about what I said? Do you agree with it?
yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts? Like, just from your perspective from you. I just because since we're on the subject, you know what I mean, of NBC and completely destroying WWE, in my opinion, in my estimation. Jemiah, say something. Come on. Yeah, she probably froze again. I think it's been doing that like in and out. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my issue, and I think that's why friends of mine have stopped watching wrestling for the longest time. I think that's why Draven's friends have stopped watching wrestling for the longest time. I think people that are in their 30s and 40s have stopped watching wrestling for the longest time, regardless if they were a casual viewer before or a hardcore viewer before. That's what's killed it. That's what's killed the mentality of pro wrestling. That's what's killed the mentality of sports entertainment. That's what's killed the sport of wrestling in general as a whole. Even Greco-Roman. When's the last time you've seen a Greco-Roman wrestler get pushed to the frickin' moon? Last two people you've seen were Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle. And
Yeah.
they didn't even. And now we got two phenomenal athletes in Chad Gable and Jason Jordan, which in NXT they're being pushed as a tag team probably to the moon in the next frickin' 3 months. And then when they get to the main roster, they're not going to do anything with them, just like they did with the Lucha Dragons, just like they did with the Ascension, just like they did with pretty much a lot of other people. And the sad part is because of the NBC political system, maybe not so much the main event division has suffered, maybe not so much as the mid-card divisions really suffered, but the two divisions that have suffered for years because of this political BS since 2008, mind you, is the Divas division
Yep.
and the Tag Team division.
Yep. Oh my gosh, I could just go on for days and days about all those, especially now. The Divas division's starting to improve now, but James,
I'm telling you right now, don't get your hopes up. They will bury Becky Lynch. They will bury Sasha Banks. They will bury Paige again. They'll bury fucking Charlotte again. And here's the thing. Yeah, Jemiah's gone. I know, but here's my thing too. Ready? The funny thing is, because of this mindset, they also have a shit ton of misbooking opportunities. Here's one case in point right here and right now. The making of the Four Horsemen women was completely tossed aside, which was, my God, how stupid that they are of not doing this. If anybody in that creative team had a brain of wrestling, that had a wrestling mind, they would realize, okay, you know what, we got to put all four of these divas as a faction. Sasha Banks, current women's champion. Paige is trying to be the number one contender for the Divas Championship. You got Charlotte. Okay, you got Charlotte who could lead the group. You could have her as women's world champion. Okay, you could bring that belt back from Alundra Blaze when she threw it in the trash. Have her be presented with that belt. And then with the old women's championship, you could have it with Becky Lynch. This would be the women. This would be the age of the women. I don't understand how WWE didn't even think of this. Not only would it elevate the women into the female division, but it might even cross over to the male division to actually be legitimate competition to the males. Because let's be honest, NXT. Look at Becky Lynch and fucking Sasha Banks. They stole the show. They stole the show. They stole the show at NXT Takeover. They're not gonna have them do that on Monday Night Raw. That's why Charlotte. That's why Charlotte is in another racial profiling. By the way, is with Naomi and freaking Tamina. That's why they didn't do it. Either they were completely clueless to not do the Four Horsemen way, or they just completely didn't want to put Sasha with them because of political reasons, because of NBC. It's the only reason why they didn't go with it. Only reason.
Yeah. I was pretty much just going to say the same thing you actually just said. Like, you know, that they're going to block this probably.
Look at the Nexus. Look at how that started. White hot. Downshift was when Daniel Bryan got released for choking Justin Roberts with the tie. That was the downfall of shit to come.
And then they didn't win at SummerSlam.
I mean,
John Cena joined the group. They had John Cena join the group, but it was just weird. It was weird when Cena was in the group. I can just go on for days and days. They didn't have him. They had him wear Cena's merchandise. You know, that could have been when you turned John Cena heel. Was when he was in the Nexus. Maybe not. But
actually, no. It probably would have been a huge white hot boost for WWE. There was two possible ways too that they could have ended. That they could have had a John Cena heel turn. They could have had him at WrestleMania turn on his teammate, which would have been. I would have put it as I would have put him as Edge, to be honest, for a face turn, and then John Cena turns on him and gives him an attitude adjustment, and then have Wade Barrett pin him, and then show the real leader of the Nexus to be John Cena, and then have them run roughshod all over WWE. That would have been one way, and the other, which they completely blew off, and then they tried to do it like way later, but they couldn't turn him heel at that point because they already missed their opportunity. And then the second time that they could have turned John Cena heel was have him beat the Undertaker streak and have him cheat to win by hitting him with the numerous steel chair shots and pull a Stone Cold Steve Austin when the referee was down, and then give him one last AA and shock the entire fan base by having not just one thing shocking happen, but two shocking things happen. But no, what did they instead do? They decided to give it to Brock Lesnar. Never had to give it to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar could have been a beast all by himself without having to beat the streak. It could have been an amazing match, but he did not need the streak. He could have just not lost in the first place. John Cena and Triple H. But again, I honestly think from the moment JBL won the title in 2004 all the way up to now has all been business decisions by Dick Ebersol and his goons that have taken over the wrestling industry, that have taken over the sports entertainment industry. That's why I honestly think it will be, and that's why I'm so glad that Donald Trump is running for president without NBC's help. They are a scumbag organization. There will always be a scumbag organization. I don't trust them for shit. They're almost as worse as Fox 25 is.
Yeah.
Or and Fox in general. That's how bad they are. And it's the sad part is it's gotten in the way of something that I love. And now they've gotten rid of Hogan because of this controversy or whatever. Or quote unquote controversy, which the mainstream media likes to blow things out of proportion all the time. NBC. And that's my rant. That's always going to be my rant. This is why I don't watch television anymore, by the way. This is why I barely watch television anymore. In reality, you can ask Mike. You can ask this kid right next to me. He knows I don't watch television anymore. I barely watch television anymore. The only thing I'll ever watch is Comedy Central because he usually watches it. And that's usually the only station he watches. I don't watch anything else besides that. I watch movies on TV when they come out. That's about it. I don't watch anything else. I'll watch UFC because that hasn't been corrupted by Fox yet. Keyword yet. That's my true opinion. I think the problem with pro wrestling, I think the problem with sports entertainment will always be NBC. I think it will always be a problem with NBC. I think it will always be a problem with Hollywood writers. And I think it will always be a problem with Universal writers who have infested themselves into the creative team. And it does not give guys, wrestling fans, wrestlers in general, any chance of trying to be a creative team writer. That's why Paul Heyman isn't in charge of the creative team. That's why Sam
Poto.
That's why that princess dude from Ring of Honor it doesn't even have a say in the creative team. That's why Jim Cornette's been fired for so many years, and that's why Jim Cornette's been ranting on Vince McMahon and his global industry. Even though he respects him as a businessman, he does not like what WWE has become, and he rants about it to this day. And I honestly think that it will always be like that. This is why I'm saying I'm going to start a campaign because of all this Hulk Hogan controversy, where I think we should all stop watching Raw. I think we should send a statement. That's my honest opinion. And I don't think that people should say, but this is the only thing I watch. Watch other alternatives. Just be subscribed to the network. Watch NXT. And that's how you can send a statement. Watch Ring of Honor. Watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. Watch those organizations. Don't watch WWE because WWE is going to let you down because of NBC. That's why I haven't watched Raw in like 3 weeks. That's why I stopped watching Raw way back in the fall last year. I stopped following it for the longest time. And the only thing I would ever watch is pay-per-views. And the only reason why I watch the pay-per-views is because friends invited me over for the damn pay-per-views. That's why the Royal Rumble has turned into absolute dog manure. That's why the Money in the Bank has become absolute dog manure. That's why King of the Ring's become absolute dog manure. Which is 3 things that should be building superstardom, okay? 3 things that could have happened. You would have had, and I forgot, Andre the Giant Battle Memorial. You had your tickets with Cesaro, Reigns, Ziggler, and Neville. You blew it with every single one of them. Every one of them. Instead, you gave Money in the Bank to Sheamus. You made Barrett King of the Ring and completely destroyed his gimmick, killed it, dead. And not only that, but you've killed Dolph Ziggler's push and Neville's push in the process. That's why Reigns looks like a joke now. That's why nobody ever wants to take him seriously ever again because you booked the Royal Rumble piss poorly this year. You booked Cesaro poorly last year, and now you're trying to redeem yourself by pushing him again this year, which you're probably going to drop the ball with him again. I don't ever suspect he'll ever be in the main event. Although I hope it happens. I wish nothing but the best for Cesaro, but they've done this twice already when they try to give him a huge push and they drop the ball with both of them, both of his pushes. So I don't have enough faith in WWE that they will push Cesaro to main event status. And in reality, if you think about it, this is probably going to hinder a lot of superstars. That the fact that Hulk Hogan's gone, it's gonna hinder the meta powers. Damian Sandow and Curtis Axel, you can say goodbye. They will never be on mainstream television again. Curtis Axel's last appearance was in that brawl. You will never see him again. I guarantee it because they're going to strip him of the Axelmania gimmick. Guarantee it. They're going to strip Damian Sandow of the Macho Man gimmick just because of Hogan. I guarantee you that's going to be another thing too. Because once they make the comparison to Macho Man, they're going to make a comparison with Hulk Hogan. And they don't want Hogan even mentioned on Twitter. Not even mentioned. And I'm telling you, man, if I hope I'm not wrong. I really hope I'm not wrong on that. I really hope people agree with me, because I think it's gotten so bad. Um, Wrestling has been hurting because of this type of thought process, honestly. And I mean, I hate talking about this negatively, and I don't like taking up an entire hangout about it. But there's just so much that I don't think people even realize that has really caused friction with wrestling fans about real. How do I say, with fans? I mean, and wrestling fans that actually have a great mind for the business will most likely never get a chance. Um, I think that's true with also wrestlers like Tommy Dreamer. I think that's true with a lot of wrestlers that have a mind for the business that have ever been taught by Paul Heyman in the ECW. They will never get a shot at running a wrestling promotion under the WWE brand. Um, there's just no way. I think those days are gone, and I don't think those days are ever going to come back. And I think Stone Cold says that there can be another wrestling boom just like the Attitude Era. But how would? But I don't see it happening, mainly because of the way that they operate under the NBC budget, and that's pretty much
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I think Jemiah has pretty much been done, but I think Jemiah doesn't even want to come back because she's probably raging in her mind right now. I think the same thing with Johnny, because they agree. I think they truly agree, and I truly think they wanted to rage at some points during this. Um, and that's the thing, man. I mean, I was originally gonna rage about this too, but then I thought it would be better for me to explain it in a calm demeanor, because I feel like my point would be across that way.
It
It
looks
would
like
be
you're
made
like
across that way.
no offense, but it looks like you're depressed right now. Like you're about to cry. And I don't
I'm
blame
not.
you.
Honestly, it may, but I'm not. It's more. This is me being in a serious mood as I can ever be. Um, I mean, I'm probably am crying on the inside, and I just don't know it. I have no idea, but
I
um,
don't blame you though, because something we both love is being destroyed right now.
here's the thing. I mean, this is why I do WIW, and have tried to keep doing it for so many years, because I like to have some shot of being creative, and I don't blame 2K, and that's why I'll always have their game, whether it's the next one coming up or the previous version in 2K14. Not 15, because 15 was hacked by Lizard Squad, but that's a different story for another day. Um, but yeah, I honestly think to this day, um, that's why I want to do it. I want to prove to WWE that you can operate on a casual fan's viewer by using the hardcore fan to spread the word. Because that's what used to happen. It's what used to happen all the time. And you need to create big stars, which they have not been doing for I would say 10 years now. And it's really been hurting the company. Um, that's pretty much it. I don't really have much else to say. I mean, they've really have gone through the deep end, and I think they're just going to continue to go down an endless pothole of BS. And I think that's one of the main reasons CM Punk quit. I mean, regardless of what people want to believe or whatever, if they think Punk's a liar with some of the stuff he said, and he very well might be, but I think the main reason he quit was because of that mindset.
Yeah. Maybe
You
that's why
know?
AJ Lee retired too. Maybe that's why AJ Lee retired.
Exactly. I don't think that they deserve to be treated like that. I don't think they deserve to be treated as secondary income when they're the main reason why they're putting asses in seats.
Yeah.
Okay, like it's common sense. It's common business sense. Punk was putting asses in seats. The guy was a white hot when he first started with his 2011 Summer of Punk. Then they had him lose 3 consecutive pay-per-views in a row. Then have him win the belt to make him not as white hot anymore. Then they basically had him lose to The Rock, which killed his momentum even more. Then they had him lose to Lesnar, which killed his momentum even more. Which would have been understandable if they had him win way beforehand, like all those other times, but they never did. So it really hurt Punk's momentum. And then Punk was fed up. Punk wanted to have sponsors on trunks. He never got that, but Lesnar did. What sense did that make? If NBC doesn't want that, why did they allow it with Brock Lesnar?
Yeah. And, when they did the Summer of Punk, that I made a video about this, they had CM Punk come back to WWE 8 days later. Like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, and that's another thing, too, is Vince and probably his mind being fed with, I don't think that we should let other wrestlers go into other territories. Why? I'm telling everybody this right now. If TNA never made any of the mistakes that they ever made, and they went with the AJ Styles going CM Punk angle like they did like back in like 2013, end of 2013, 2014, and so on, they would have destroyed WWE. This would have been the death blow to WWE, because basically what TNA did was have their champion. If they never made any of those mistakes before, and they went with this angle later on when they actually are competing with WWE, AJ Styles would have taken the belt to Ring of Honor. He would have taken the belt to Wrestle One. He would have taken the belt to New Japan. He would have taken the belt to AAA. He would have taken the belt to Lucha Underground. He would have taken it to all these different territories that were building up. If that happened, WWE would not even survive. That would have showed that the one angle that TNA actually copied from WWE, they did better. I am always a firm believer that TNA always did this angle better, despite how short it lasted. And it would have continued to do better had AJ Styles actually been kept under contract, because he was getting over. Because all these guys that were watching the promotion of Wrestle One and New Japan and all this other stuff would have funneled back to TNA. If WWE did this with the Summer of Punk and not have him return in the entirety of 2011, and he defended in Ring of Honor, New Japan, AAA, and all these other territories, all the funnelship would have been going back to Raw and SmackDown. And then what they could have done is have a World Heavyweight Championship tournament, then have John Cena win it, then they can have their Golden Boy with the belt, and then have Daniel Bryan win the belt at TLC, then have Alberto cash in on Daniel Bryan at TLC right after Daniel Bryan cashes in. Then, at the Royal Rumble of 2012, would have been 40-man Royal Rumble to decide the new World Heavyweight Champion because of that whole controversy in 2012. So, would have had a 40-man Royal Rumble to crown a new World Heavyweight Champion. Alberto Del Rio goes number 1 and number 2. They both go the distance. Daniel Bryan wins the belt. Then, all of a sudden, you hear Cult of Personality, and then CM Punk comes out just like he did on that Raw 8 days later, and the place would have exploded. Would have exploded. Because the hero of pro wrestling, of sports entertainment, came back from defending against some of the greats. Knowing Punk, he probably would have been legitimately the best in the world, and he would have gotten into the main event of WrestleMania along with Daniel Bryan, because what Punk would have basically done is beat guys like Jushin Thunder Liger. He would have beaten guys like he would have beaten guys like the Rainmaker. He would have beaten guys like the Ring of Honor heavyweight champion at the time, I think was Roderick Strong. He would have beaten all these great athletes, legends even, and he would have been incredible. He would have been one of the best WWE champions that WWE ever had, because he would have defeated all of these legends and held on to the WWE championship for more than just 441 days. He would have held it for 441 days as WrestleMania 28 was rolling around. and it would have created a main event for the ages between Daniel Bryan and CM Punk.
Yeah.
These are some of the opportunities that WWE completely misses out because of this mindset. They would have had numerous, and I would even go as far as to say that Dick Ebersol. Oh, and I don't know if you can still hear me with this, but you probably agree if you do, because your thing froze up. Was that WWE decided, hey, let's go with what do I say? The invasion angle. Piss poorly done. Could have been a great storyline had they signed all the talent that was under contract with AOL. Would have made millions. Would have made millions in WWE had they done it right. They didn't do it right. Vince hated WCW, hence the reason why he basically killed it. They had 4 rosters in the palm of their hand. They would have had Raw, they would have had WCW, they would have had ECW, and then the biggest one, which would have been the X Factor, no pun intended, X Pac, would be the NWO. Which would have been huge. It would have been a huge brand war for ultimate supremacy. I think Owen is having issues, which is fine. I can understand. But yeah, if people can still see me, here he is. But yeah, I don't know. Something's up with it, Owen. I'll try and just get out of it again. I'm still going on, but yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, these are some of the misbooking opportunities that WWE has had, and I think they're going to continue to have. That's pretty much it. I want to try to get Owen back on here now because I think he's having issues with his thing. What the actual shit is happening? Maybe if I leave the call, I'll be back in a few, guys. Hopefully this doesn't cause issues. I guess Owen can't. Here we go. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
There
I
we
just
go.
lost the connection too.
Yeah. If I kept I think I kept whatever audience we got like under what's going on.
I tried to talk as much as I could. I was just talking about everything you just said. Maybe I just can't film in this room or something.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
These technical glitches, they happen, so you just have to deal with them.
Yeah.
Well,
No, do you agree with me? I think you agree with me in a lot of this. I mean, I want you to have an opinion. I don't want to take up the whole hangout. I feel like I have already.
Well, we have about 9 more minutes, but I was just talking about like WWE with this political mindset has screwed up making stars, screwed up storylines. They screwed up, remember that whole illegitimate child of Vince McMahon? It's because of these politics.
Oh my god, yeah, that was another thing because steroid scandal, which is another thing on Dick Ebersol's part too, because not only was Vince McMahon supplying them, but he was originally supplied with them by Dick Ebersol as well. Dick Ebersol was under investigation of that too.
Vince McMahon even probably took his steroids himself, So.
Yeah, well, doesn't surprise me. I mean, there's issues. There's legitimate issues with how WWE books things, man. And not only that, but they're. I mean, think about it honestly, morally, not just politically, but morally. I want people to think about this before we go off air here. You got a guy who has drugged his wife on national TV, has been involved in 2 steroid scandals, one which almost took down the company in the 80s. You've got a man who's cheating on his wife with 7 different women, on screen and off screen, by the way. You have a man who says the N-word and then criticizes the biggest star for saying the N-word on an interview, not on live TV. It's okay if he says it on live TV because he's the boss. You got a guy who's trying to break up a former on-screen couple in Lana and Rusev in real life. And you just got that's off the top of my head. Like,
yeah, and
morally,
something I don't think he said.
Morally, who wants to work for a guy like that? Even
and like
Cena,
you said,
like I don't know how Cena can put up with him. You know?
He doesn't really let Cena even rest up. Cena always has to come in there. Like, I bet when Cena comes back fast...
Well, Cena does it. Well, Cena does it because he loves wrestling anyway. He doesn't really care politically because he just wants to do what he loves to do anyway, regardless of what's going on behind the scenes. And I commend him for that. You know, I understand his position, so that's why.
Yeah, but I bet
him.
like...
I
bet that's why, though, like, he has to come back so fast from his injuries, because I think Vince thinks that the company's just not going to thrive without John Cena as the face right now.
Yet they have him in the mid-card, which makes no sense.
It's not necessarily...
And the fact that Owens was beating him in T-shirt sales, they feel like, oh, Owen's the bad guy. Kevin Dunn's like, Owen's the bad guy. Like, both Vince and Kevin Dunn, both of them had this weird middle-aged mindset about things, especially with not just women, but with men, but with the people that work for them. Both of them do. And I can understand, like, you got to do what the boss says. I'm not saying that. I know that. I'm gonna have a job soon. You know, I understand that, and I'm not saying that you can't. You have to listen to you do have to listen to him. That's in your contract. Just to me,
but he's just personally making you look like a fool. It's not
just the boss. It's not just the boss. It's the mindset of the boss you got to look for. If you're not happily and you feel like your religious boundaries and moral boundaries or whatever it is are being crossed, then I don't think you should work for them. That's my personal opinion. You could be an atheist, I don't care. You could be agnostic, you could be anything that you want to be, as long as you have, as long as you don't mix that in with the way you run things in your business. That's how I see it. And that's why I'm kind of annoyed with pro wrestling, because they have had that. They have let that affect the wrestling business for years now. Even since Vince McMahon Jr. has taken over, it's always been like that. Always. That's why Bruno Sammartino for so many years was against going into the Hall of Fame. It took Triple H, of all people, to bring him into the Hall of Fame. Didn't take Vince. Bruno still hates Vince's guts, and he has every right to hate Vince McMahon's guts.
Ultimate Warrior. They even made the Self-Destruction of the Warrior DVD, which I don't understand why they even did that. I understand, like, come on, they made a DVD of the Self-Destruction of the Warrior.
And I agree with what Warrior was doing after that. I would have probably handled it the same way.
Yeah, because pretty much they ruined his character. Pretty much, I haven't seen the DVD yet.
They ruined his. They tried to ruin his name. Let's be honest. They infringed upon him.
Yes.
Legitimately.
And then it took Triple H to get Ultimate Warrior into the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. It took Triple H to get Macho Man, who was dead, into the Hall of Fame. This up and coming year.
I mean, Ultimate Warrior and Vince, I think they are still good. You talk about that DVD, but come on, there's no way that everything could just be magically fine now. I feel like I mean, maybe it's true, but you can tell by watching them together now. But I just don't feel like how can you forget something that tried to ruin your career? Just how can you forget something like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's my that's my true feelings on this whole thing. I mean,
I would have
I think
ranted
that's
more, but I'm too
all of our true
tired.
feelings. I mean, I think it's every wrestling slash casual fan slash sports entertainment fan's opinion on everything. I mean, maybe not everybody, but most. I mean, and I think that's a lot of frustration with older generation fans
Yes.
too. Um, it's just what it is, you know. And I don't think there's anything we can to change it until we take money out of Vince McMahon's pocket. That's why I'm not watching Raw tonight. That's why I'm only watching NXT on the network, and that's why I don't even pay for the network. I use it with you. That's why most people do. And that's why I think WWE is just going to continue to go down in stock in the stock market. I think it's also going to continue WWE's downfall in storyline writing, and I think it's going to continue to downfall in talent. All
Yes.
that is a factor
They have
with include. I think all that is a factor of the political system that has been infested inside WWE.
yes.
All right,
It's just
we gotta end this now because my
uh,
battery's on 6%, and I gotta wash dishes and do stuff at home. So you can wrap this up. We'll promote our stuff. You go first.
alright. Well, let's promote Jemiah's channel. Subscribe to Jemiah Pin WWE because she's not
Yep.
really here
Also,
with this video. And
yeah,
Johnny, what about Johnny's channel? Does he have
I don't think Johnny has his own YouTube
channel?
channel. I think he might have a
Okay.
Twitch, but I don't know what the name of it is. I'll find out and then we can put it in the description later.
Okay. Well, you can subscribe to my non-wrestling channel where we don't rant for 3 hours about wrestling. You know, that's
Exactly.
like that. Politics don't get involved in that, even though it's somewhat kind of true.
Yeah, and yeah, check out Owen's wrestling channel. Also, subscribe to that. Also, check
Yes.
out Master Wrestling Corner videos up here. Check out my channels, Jay Hebert's side over here, and Weymouth Youth Wrestling over here, which we are starting up again.
And you can check out my. Yeah, we gotta talk about that because actually.
promo. Yeah, WYW promo. Check it out on Owen's channel also. And until we'll see you guys.
Well, there's more. I got one more. I got one more. Subscribe. You can also watch my subscribe to CM Brothers. You can also watch my SummerSlam series review. I'm going through like mostly all the SummerSlams and I'm gonna review each one. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I have to say. Any foes. You know what?